everybody. This is Todd, and I'm from Table Ready Podcast. As you can tell, I just put a new intro up, and what do you think? This is the 2-year anniversary since I started podcasting, so I'm very excited to do new things. Welcome a new year, get started in new projects, and I set up a whole episode of stuff I wanted to talk about. And you know what? Warhammer just decided to do me dirty, and they threw all kinds of stuff out this week. Between the week before and this week, it's been crazy. And I'm kind of I'm like excited for all the stuff that came out, and I'm kind of disappointed because I had this fantastic episode set up. But we're going to roll with it. We're going to do everything that I wanted to do. This may be a little bit longer, but I hope it's not too much longer. But we're going to keep going. So to start out with, we're going to start with the basics. The great stuff that came out this last 2 weeks, let's put it that way. So within this last week, they decided to drop all kinds of stuff for the new Maelstrom campaign book. And it looks amazing. Like everything that I want out of a campaign book is in this book. So when this drops, I really want to pick this up. And if I can help it, we're going to do a full review. We're going to go over this whole book. There's so much stuff in it. The character creator, all the new characters that are going to be in this, of course, Huron Blackheart and the new Corsairs and stuff like that. All this stuff. It just looks incredible. But the stuff that came out this week, let's start with that. We really had 2 new cast attachments. So if you're looking to play that Huron Blackheart, the new pirate Corsairs detachment, it looks really amazing. And thanks, Raven. Yes, it's very exciting, all the stuff. 2 years that I've been doing this. To believe it, 2 years I've been podcasting. Hasn't all been video, but we're here. We're going to do more. And I'm not going anywhere because this is tons of fun. So as I was saying, the cast attachments, the first one, if you're going to play Huron Blackheart, you're going to be interested in the first one. It's all focused around what Huron Blackheart, how he works on the table, how the units interact with him. It's kind of amazing, just all the cool stuff that you can do. And basically everything's based around Huron Blackheart and of course those Masters of the Maelstrom. So yeah, Raven says only 2 years. It seems like so much longer. Well, she would be the one to know because she's the one that gave me the go-ahead to keep going with it. So thank you, Raven. You're the best. You always will be the best. The next one that we do have is the Renegade Warbands. They're kind of cool. I'm really interested in that. And I know Logan, my son Logan's super interested in it because his theme for his army is like a pirate theme. So he's really kind of jumping on that. He really likes the idea of getting into more of the pirate theme, the actual like renegade type Chaos Space Marines. So that's really cool. It's almost like, if you haven't looked at it yet, and look, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but if you really want to get into it, it's a whole lot like running Gladius, the Gladius detachment, the Gladius task force, but it's for Chaos Space Marines. So if you ever wanted to get that Gladius feel, that's the detachment to run with. It really, 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 really works well. From what I looked, obviously I didn't play test it. I haven't gotten a game in since then. I know Logan really wants to get a game in and try this out. They did, of course, put out data sheets for Huron. And of course, at 120 points, he's kind of expensive compared to a normal hero of that type. But from what I understand, what I get from the data sheet itself, he is just a tough son of a gun. So can dish out a lot of damage, and he's really looks like a lot of fun to play. If I was playing a Chaos Space Marine army, I would probably dive into Huron Blackheart and those Red Corsairs just to have the models look amazing, the rules look amazing. He is definitely that anti-Titus feel. So if you're an Ultramarine player, watch out for this guy, because there's going to be a lot of Chaos Marine guys that are going to be playing that. Now, of course, they also put out the Red Corsairs units, the Raiders, and the Reeve Captain. That gives you another captain choice, or a Chaos Lord choice, if you want to say. Really kind of cool. The Red Corsairs is really cool. I like their ability. They get an extra +1 to their OC once they destroy a unit, and that lasts for the entire game. So really, if you can kind of jump in there and really get on something and have them, even if they just need to finish something out, I think that'll be a great unit to have in your army. Again, I don't play basic Chaos Space Marines, so I don't really have that feel to it. It's not a unit that I'm going to throw on there, but I would definitely, if I was playing Chaos Space Marines, I would be all over that. Okay, so now that we're done with Chaos, and just to jump ahead a little bit, they did put out a balanced data slate, changed a couple points. For Huron, he went from about 80 points where they expected him to be at. He went up to 120 points. So he's definitely wrecking some stuff. Now, my army, the Eldari, 2 more detachments for them. And that's going to be basically focused on those Corsairs. Again, he really jumped into that pirate theme, and you'll definitely see that as we move forward. They brought back Prince Uriel. So anybody that was missing Prince Uriel, I didn't really play him, mostly because my Eldar are same hand, and I didn't really have that reach to grab him. But I'm considering it. He's really good. He still has the Eye of Baal. So he still has a lot of good abilities and a lot of Corsair focused abilities at this point. So he got his own detachment, which is, of course, the Eldritch Raiders. Eldritch Raiders. So that's all based right around Prince Uriel, just like the Huron's Marauders were based around Huron Blackheart. This is all focused around Prince Uriel. Tons of fun. I'm trying to see if I can proxy something in for Prince Uriel and just give this a try. It might be on my list of things to do in the near future. Next, we have the Corsairs Cotier, I think it's pronounced. And of course, that's again a really fun one, because that does give you sticky objectives on all your Amarath units. So I think that'll be tons of fun. Eldar would benefit greatly from sticky objectives, that's for sure. I really like the idea of that. I think it's a good solid detachment for them. And of course, like I said, I'm not really getting into the stratagems and the enhancements and stuff like that. Just a base overview of some of the stuff that they put out. They did, of course, put out data sheets for Prince Uriel. The Karseth, who is the Void Dreamer, he looks kind of like a Bone Singer to me. But I'll take anything that I can get for Eldar, especially when it comes to psychic units. But he looks really cool. His abilities look really nice. I think he'll be tons of fun to play. I'm not sure. I forgot to look if he actually had the Amarath tag, or if you could play him with normal Eldari. But either way, I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And of course, that new Viper model, new Viper rules. The fact that you can put 2 real heavy weapons on that, I think that's a fantastic and fun way to play a Viper. I'm kind of excited about it because Vipers have been kind of blah over the last couple editions. Like, they're not bad, but they really haven't, like, so like when they gave the Eldar jet bikes the choice of a the shuriken catapults, the shuriken cannons, or the scatter laser. Sorry, I had to collect my thoughts. As soon as they gave those, it kind of null and voided the Vipers. They were just not good enough for the amount of firepower they put out. Now that they can get 2 sets of heavy weapons on there, I think it's really kind of cool. I think they're a little overpriced at this point, but I'm sure as of next balanced data slate, that's all going to be fixed up. If not, I'd be really surprised because I think that it's right there. It needs to be right there. They also have the new Starfang and new Sky Reavers. Sky Reavers are, of course, those cool Corsairs with the wings. I think they look really, really amazing too. They're probably in my cart. I'm not going to say where, but they're probably in my cart. The Starfang 2, I think it's a really cool looking vehicle. It's like a Viper adjacent, if you don't know what that is. But that came out really, really cool looking. I'll probably get one at some point just because I'm a collector and I really want to have one. But it's not top of the list. And then, of course, it really digging into that pirate themes. They did add a new detachment for Leagues of Votann, and of course a new detachment for those orcs, leaning into the freebooter style. So yeah, some really cool stuff with just the detachments that they put out. Now, some of the other stuff that they did change was some point changes. So, of course, they did change the Eldar Viper up to about 75 points. I think it's a little high price for what it is because it's a glass cannon. Let's put it that way. It's gonna put out some damage, but it's not gonna take it. So I think it's a good thing, but I don't think it's a great price point. I think they're going to lose some of the stuff in that, but hey, what can you do? And of course, as I mentioned before, Huron Blackheart went up about 40 points to that 120 point. I'm going to say, with all honesty and all truthness, from what I understand, and again, I haven't put them on the table, but from what I have seen, I think that is going to be just an amazing model to play on the table. So Huron Blackheart, those Masters of the Maelstrom, I think thematically they are just fantastic. And I think even if you don't play Red Corsairs, the Red Corsair units and stuff like that, I think he would be a great addition into just your basic Chaos Space Marine. He's, if nothing else, he's such a gorgeous model. You really need to pick him up. And speaking of new models, if you haven't seen by now, I'm sure most people have, but if you haven't seen by now, there's a new Defiler coming out. Look at me. I'm working on the old one. I just got an old one just last month. Finally broke down and well, I got it as a gift, but I just finally got one. I just started making it just the way I want. They came out with a new model. That's okay, because I like what I'm doing with mine, and I probably should have grabbed it ahead of time. I could have showed it off. Essentially, I'm making it more towards, and if you want to check out the Facebook page, there's a couple pictures set up there. So it's just table ready painting on Facebook. You can look it up. It should be, I think it's the last post that I put up. So you can check that out there. I did a lot of structure change, but it's mostly just part swaps. So it's not like highly intensive. I'm not sculpting my own stuff. I've used pieces from Ford Fiends and Armiger, the Warhound Armigers, or Warhound, the little chaos knights. So I use those to really get a good feel on it. Of course, because it's 4,000 Suns, I made Zinchian. It's got the two bird type heads. It's got claws. It's got to have, mutated claws as well as the big claws. It's got the big autocannons on it. It's going to look really cool when it's done. Hopefully, I'm going to love it either way. So, hopefully everything's going to go well. Just from the mock-up that I did so far, everything looks great. It is primed, so that means I can start painting it and then I can assemble it. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. I do work, have kids, have a wife, so on. So I get as much hobby time in as I can, but I don't always get as much as I want. So that being said, and of course, please, if you've seen it, somebody put a meme up of Marnius Calgar in the new Defiler suit. Oh my God, it's hilarious. See if you can find it. Check it out. I probably should have grabbed it. Whatever. But it's funnier than hell. So, being that this is my anniversary of the podcast. I sat down just a few days ago, 2 years ago, and decided that I was going to record my first episode. If anybody's listening to this that has listened to the first episode, because of course it wasn't on YouTube. I didn't start as a YouTube channel. I started as a podcast. I sat here and I talked to you guys about my past, stuff that I've done in the past, and stuff that models that I worked on, campaigns that we did, stuff that I was going to really work on in the next couple episodes at that point. I started out where I wanted to just go over narrative games and different ways to play Warhammer 40K, things that I really was passionate about because I'm more of a narrative player. I don't get to enough tournaments. I don't get to enough, big game stores to, actually sit and play. Obviously, I do shopping because I've got, enough gray plastic right now. And I just bought more not too long ago. So I still have stuff to work on. And it's going to last me quite some time overall, especially at the rate that I'm working at right now. But I wanted to get into this to get into other people's lives, to give them better ideas on how to play different games of Warhammer, how to play Warhammer 40K specifically. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue with that. So I've been working over the past year to do Combat Patrol to Crusade. I have only I think 6 more to do total for all the factions, including all the updates. So we've progressed through that. I think the next step is I'm going to revisit some of the narrative campaigns, especially with some of the stories, some of the Crusade books, the campaign books, stuff like that, and see if I can drum up some interest in different ways, and maybe even do a deep dive on some of the actual different campaign rules that exist out there. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to start talking about ways to motivate yourself into painting your miniatures, how to, maybe think about the game in a different way. Try to, work towards your end goal, stuff like that. And, with that theme, I actually wanted to talk about that today. So the first topic for this kind of conversation is I wanted to talk about, you're sitting out there with your pile of shame. What do you have? I have them over here. They're actually behind me. I have 1, 2, 3 boxes up here, just right here, that I need to paint. Okay. All that stuff is, in fact, this is the Ordo Hereticus box. That stuff's primed. I just need to paint it. These are my the Valor Strike Lance box. That stuff all needs to get primed yet. The Rogel Dorn's painted in process. So I do have enough stuff here. Of course, I'm working on that Defiler. I have 1 squad of Rubric Marines to finish for my Thousand Suns army, and I have 2 sorcerers. So my common goal at the moment is to finish the Thousand Suns. I am, like I said, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 models, and every Thousand Suns model I own is painted and ready to play at any given time. So I'm going to start. Sometimes that in itself is overwhelming. Okay. And this, of course, just trying to finish that up is even more overwhelming. I know that I enjoy the hobby. I enjoy painting, but sometimes just the fact that there's 30 some guys in this box and another 6 in that one and another 5 over here. And I just bought the Combat Patrol for Astra Militarum, and I've got the Defiler to finish, and I've got these Rubric Marines to paint. Sometimes it's too much. So what I wanted to talk about was trying to get small wins in your hobby progress and even in your games of 40K. So I'm going to get into that a little bit later. What I do want to start with is your hobby side of this. So you have this big pile, you have, let's say, just boxes of stuff that you haven't even opened yet. Just break everything down. I mean, that's what I do. Break everything down. It's not, you don't need to pick up everything and build everything all in one shot and have to have it done before you sleep, before you take your rest at night. Break it down. Like, okay, today I'm going to build an armiger. And then when I'm done, yay, I win. I got my goal. That's all I needed to do today. Obviously, especially if you're someone like me, like I like to do all this stuff. I like to get everything done, get everything together so I can prime. I'm more of a, I don't want to say a perfectionist because I am not a perfectionist, but I am a more, let's get everything together that I can do so I can spray everything in one shot, or so I can, batch paint all these guys in one shot. I like to do that because I know that once it's done, and then I don't have to touch it. Or once I get, let's say, the 3 color minimum, that table ready status, I'm good. I can now play with these models. I can now make them part of my army. No, they're not done, but I can make that a better, it's a starting point. For me, though, I always like getting that finish. Everybody does. You like that finish part, that you get that dopamine spike. You're like, oh, I finished these models. I'm going to feel good for a while. I think I'm going to go play a video game for a little bit. Or I just want to look at them and be enamored by the skill set that I put, whether it was a new technique painting or something like that, or you just threw the models together just so you had them on the table. When they're to that point, when you get to that point where you're happy with them, that's such a great feeling. And I really wanted to lean into that because, like everything that we do in this hobby can be huge. So take as many small wins as you can. I mean, if you get, let's say you're working with the Valor Strike Lance box set, there's 4 little knights, the 4 armigers, 1 big knight. If you can get 1 armiger done in a sitting, that's a good thing. That should be a great goal for you. I mean, it takes, especially with all the stuff that you need to do. I mean, you clip it out of the sprues, you snip it off, you clean up all the tabs, you file the pieces if you're going to file them. I know some people don't, and that's okay too. But you file the ends off, all the mold lines, you file them off, make sure that all your fits right, you dry fit everything, you get everything glued together, and you have a full complete model, or you have it to the point where you can stack it because like I do, I keep it in sub-assemblies, paint it all up, and then put it together as a final unit. I like that point where I can just take the model and stack it up and be like, oh, look how cool he looks. Like, and that could be your goal for the night or the day or whatever. Just, getting to that point should be a win. It's a small win, but it should be a win. Next time when you get outside, it's a real nice day. You go out, you shoot that guy with primer. That's another win for you in this hobby. Just getting the gray plastic to go away, that's another win. Base coating it, whether you're going to do it all metallic to start, or you're going to do zenithal highlights, or you're going to do contrast paints, or whatever you're going to do, covering that black or that black and the white or whatever you put all over it, getting that to the first base color and seeing what it's actually going to look like, that should be a win too. That is a good win. That's always a win. I mean, just getting that first color on, you're like, oh, it pops. It's exactly the color. The color works out great. Boom. Getting the first wash on it. Getting the first highlights on it. These are all great wins for somebody in this hobby. And it's just a great way to keep pushing yourself or keep getting yourself motivated to do the next step. Sometimes you need to take a small day in order to get a good big day. So like just getting out there and priming some models is enough motivation, enough inspiration just to get onto the next step. And then, so other than that, and of course, I got to mention the final superior big small win that you can do is when you go in there with that little brush and you dab both those eyes and they come out perfect, or those lenses or whatever, and they come out good, and you can sit back and be like, dude, that's amazing. Even if they are cross-eyed, like you wouldn't believe, just getting it done and looking good from the tabletop should be an amazing win, especially with the eyes. If you can get the eyes right, that's a huge win. But I wanted to put it in there because if you can get eyes done, thumbs up. So of course, the next part that I always want to include, that I wanted to include with these small wins, of course, is collecting. And a quick interim for me personally, sitting down and writing up that army list and figuring out exactly what you wanted to put on that army list and getting a whole like shopping list of what you want. And again, I'm kind of a collector, so you give me a faction, I just want the models for that faction. I'm not real picky about what goes in it, how they go in it, how they fit in it, if it's any good right now. I play my armies for the long haul, so which means I have been playing Space Marines. I've been playing Eldar since 2nd edition. I have been playing Dark Angels since, I want to say, 4th edition. I've been playing Imperial Guard since 7th edition, and I've been playing Thousand Suns since 8th edition, I think. So I'm a long haul player. I play whatever I come up with, I play with, and I there's one army that I gave up, and to this day, I'd probably kick myself for doing it, especially the way it's set up now. And that, of course, is I used to have some Chaos Marines that were Khorne-centric, so I had a lot of Khorne Berserkers and stuff like that. I did give those to a friend of mine. Actually, I gave them to my cousin, so he has them or doesn't have them anymore. whatever the case may be. I don't have them anymore. I don't remember if I traded him away or just gave it to him so he could start his army. But either which way, that's the only army that I ever gave up on. I still have my what is old world orcs and goblin army still on the shelves. I haven't even played old world. I haven't even looked at the rules yet. But they're still here. They're still in foam and ready to play whenever I get time to. Other ways that you can break down for small wins. When you get that one, the collecting side, when you go to the Warhammer store and they actually have the one model you've been looking for, or you go to the friendly local game store and they just happen to have the one model you're looking for, the one thing that you wanted to add to your army, the one model that has been unavailable for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they just happen to have it. That, of course, is a win. If you have enough money to buy it, of course. Please don't steal miniatures. And for me, another big one is, you're putting these models together. Sometimes you just get that pose, you get that arm posed just right. And, whether it's supposed to be like a guy's holding his chainsword above his head and you tilt it down just a little bit so that he's menacing with it instead of, waving it above his head like a lunatic. That's always a good win when you can just do that little bit of modeling, a little bit of change to just make a single model look that much better. And of course, anytime you do a custom build, custom builds are my jam. I love doing custom builds. I do custom builds all the time. Every chance that I get. So, with Thousand Suns, I altered my Mauler Fiend. I'm altering my Defiler, and there'll be plenty of pictures coming up. I changed, a 10-man Rubric Marine into 2 5-man squads, so there's an extra sorcerer in there. I like doing the simple changes, the custom characters. That's always a big win for me, just getting that custom character in place and looking good. The other thing is when you get dice that match your army. Even whether they're GW dice or they're, armor, I lost the name of it. Like the small cheap ones, or you get some Baron dice or whatever. Getting those dice to actually match your army so that when you play your army, everything matches up. That's such a big win. Because I like to have just that little bit of extra theme, printing out, finding the files so that I could print out custom army rosters, so they don't all look the same. That's a big win for me, especially when I find something that I really like. And there's plenty of them out there. If you go looking, I have ones for my Dark Angels. I have one for my Thousand Suns. I don't think I have one for the Guard, but I don't know that I looked for them, to be honest. But now I might. Another win if I can find one. Or you can make your own. If you got the technology to do it and the time to figure it out. If you don't, it could easily be a big win. And then of course, so that's the hobby side. That's the collecting side. So the next thing is, of course, what are the small wins in an actual gaming situation? Look, I ain't going to tell you. The big wins. The big wins are when you roll 3 6s out of 3 6s with your las cannons, with 3 las cannon shots, and you just obliterate something. Yeah, that's a big win, obviously. But the small wins for me when you're actually playing the game is setting up your miniatures for a perfect charge where they can't get shot back. Doing a deep strike where they drop in and you actually make a charge that you didn't expect to make. Firing, just a simple gun and, like a las gun and actually kill like a orc war boss with it. Those are obviously like depending on how you look at it, they're big wins or small wins. For me, that's the motivation that keeps me playing the game. So it's a win either way. When you have that one character that just won't die, my kids, for some odd reason, my kids are scared to death of my Mutalith Vortex Beast, because for some reason I make saves on that thing all the dang time. All the time. If I don't save, I'll usually make the invulnerable save, and if I don't make the invulnerable save, I'll usually catch the feel no pain. I don't know why. The numbers are not that good. They shouldn't work out, but you know what? They do almost all the time. And it's such a crazy thing. Like, when they actually get a chance to score a hit on that thing, they're jumping up and down excited. I'm surprised the thing lasts as long as it does, to be honest with you. But hey, they throw some pretty heavy weapons at it and it still doesn't go down. In fact, the last game that I played against Logan, he specifically didn't shoot it because he was like, oh, heck no. I'm not even bothering with that thing. Just let it go do its thing and see what happens. And I think it got one wound on it the entire fight. And he was just like, okay, I just shot it because I didn't have anything else to shoot. But I'm sure the day that he takes that down for the first time, that's going to be the end of its run. He's just got to figure out the right way to get it. So, I mean, and of course, like other simple things, getting just enough models into a fight on an objective where you out objective control the person that was on it. That's always a good win. Getting the oddball dice roll that you didn't expect, that's good. Pulling just the right objective on the right turn, that can make or break a game. Any of these things, it's all amazing stuff, and these are all small wins, and this is all these small wins across everything that you're doing just makes you want to play more. It makes you want to paint more. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you inspired to paint more models, to build more models, to stay in this hobby, to read the lore. I mean, and that's the one thing that I didn't mention up till now is the lore, watching a lore video while you're painting. I mean, just learning something new about the hobby and the lore that you didn't know before, learning a new painting technique that you've never used before and actually making it work. That's another one I didn't really think of. These are all small wins. But they're all things that are going to keep you motivated to keep painting more, keep getting more games in, keep playing more stuff, and keep doing more things with the game. So, yeah, so that's it for me. I want to thank everybody that did watch. This has been 2 years for me, and I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I wouldn't be doing this now if there weren't people watching it. And I'm going to keep trying to do more, and let me know if there's something you want me to come on here and talk about. I'm going to try and get some more quality of life things, topics to talk about, some things, that we can relate to Warhammer and maybe even to our own lives sometimes. And just keep moving forward with that. So, but yeah, thanks for everybody. Thanks for the last 2 years. If there's anything that you want to hear about that I've talked about already, if you want to go back and revisit the Crusade or Combat Patrol to Crusade, you want to go back and watch those. They're all filed on YouTube. Most of them are probably on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, iHeart, whatever you listen to your podcasts on. If you don't want the video format, maybe you don't want to look at my ugly face, but whatever. So, if you just want to hear me talking about it, like I said, I've done most of the armies. I think I have 6 factions left to do, and we're going to get to those very shortly and very, very in the next couple episodes. Let's put it that way. I want to get those all finished up. I know there's rumors of 11th edition coming out. I don't want to fall behind on that. I do want to, if it does come out, this is a promise to you guys. I'm going to make videos explaining how it works, what's changed, what's going on, and any caveats that are going to be involved if it's just a minor change. If it's a total makeover, I don't see that happening, but if it is like a total makeover, I'm going to do the whole thing, like cover to cover. We're going to figure it all out. And I'm going to be here to make those videos. I will probably make those separate from the other videos. This way I could set up and record and move cameras and change stuff and so on and so forth. All the stuff that needs to be done in order to get that. But that's moving forward. For now, I want to thank everybody that's out there for having me for the last 2 years. And I want to thank anybody that's new, that's coming onto the show, starting to watch now. Thank you for being there to support me and being here just to listen to me yammer on about Warhammer and Warhammer things. And as for me, we are here at Table Ready to help you and your models become table ready. And thanks for coming on. Thanks. Have a great day.